Welcome back to Health Bulletin. Get ready for an enthralling episode where we dive into the unfolding of humanity's greatest health crisis at climate change conference COP28, a pivotal moment in our history. As the world braces for what may be the hottest year on record, COP28's inaugural Health Day signals a critical wake-up call. The World Health Organization says climate change is the biggest health danger we face, with extreme heat, widespread diseases, and toxic air pollution. Breaking the Paris Agreement's critical 1.5 degrees C limit could lead to catastrophic consequences. And current trends are showing that the temperature could dangerously rise by 2.9 degrees C. That's why it's so important for us to act quickly to prevent this. In this situation, the most affected groups are children and the elderly. If this keeps up, we'll face more than just higher temperatures in the future. We are already facing more food shortages, widespread diseases, and serious mental health issues. Last summer, more than 70,000 people in Europe died because of the heat. Also, infectious diseases are spreading more. This shows we urgently need to do something. The 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference happening in Dubai has promises to increase funding for climate action. But the question remains, can we avert this health catastrophe? Why climate change is the biggest threat to people's health? The COP28 UN Climate Change Conference is having its first Health Day because of increasing problems like extreme heat, hunger, bad air, and diseases. There's a big push for the world to deal with the effects of global warming. This year might be the hottest ever, with more frequent and intense heat waves expected to follow. Growing calls for the world to come to grips with the many ways that global warming, the impact of these issues on human health, has led to the first day focused on this issue at the important UN climate talks, starting this week. Extreme heat, air pollution, and the growing spread of deadly diseases are clearly becoming more common. These are a few reasons why the World Health Organization has named climate change the single biggest health threat facing humanity. Global warming must be limited to the Paris Agreement target of 1.5 degrees Celsius to avert catastrophic health impacts and prevent millions of climate change-related deaths, according to the WHO. However, under current national carbon-cutting plans, the world is on track to warm up to 2.9 degrees Celsius this century, the UN said this week. While no one will be completely safe from the effects of climate change, experts expect that most at risk will be children, women, the elderly, migrants, and people in less developed countries that have emitted the least planet-warming greenhouse gases. Starting December 3rd, the COP28 meetings in Dubai are happening, and for the first time at these climate talks, there's a special Health Day event. This year is widely expected to be the hottest on record. Heat is believed to have caused more than 70,000 deaths in Europe during summer in 2022. Researchers said this week, revising the previous number up from 62,000. Worldwide, people were exposed to an average of 86 days of life-threatening temperatures a year from 2018-2022, according to the recent Lancet Countdown report. The number of people over 65 who died from heat rose by 85% from 1991-2000 to 2013-2022, it added. A paper in the Lancet predicts that by 2050, under a scenario where the planet warms by 2 degrees Celsius, the number of people dying from heat each year could be 5 times higher than it is today. The number of people dying from heat each year could be 5 times higher than it is today. There will be more droughts, which will lead to an increase in hunger. Under the scenario of 2 degrees Celsius warming by the end of the century, 520 million more people will experience moderate or severe food insecurity by 2050. Meanwhile, other extreme weather events, such as storms, floods, and fires, will continue to threaten the health of people across the world. Almost 99% of the world's population breathes air that exceeds the WHO's guidelines for air pollution. Outdoor air pollution driven by fossil fuel emissions kills more than 4 million people every year, according to the WHO. It raises the chances of getting lung diseases, strokes, heart problems, lung cancer, diabetes, and other health issues. This danger is similar to the risks of tobacco. The damage is caused partly by PM2.5 microparticles, which are mostly from fossil fuels. People breathe these tiny particles into their lungs, where they can then enter the bloodstream. While spikes in air pollution, such as extremes seen in India's capital New Delhi earlier this month, trigger respiratory problems and allergies, long-term exposure is believed to be even more harmful. The Lancet report found that deaths from air pollution due to fossil fuels have fallen 16% since 2005, mostly due to efforts to reduce the impact of coal burning. Back to the bad news. The changing climate means that mosquitoes, birds, and mammals will roam beyond their previous habitats, raising the threat that they could spread infectious diseases with them. Mosquito-borne diseases that pose a greater risk of spreading due to climate change include dengue, chikungunya, Zika, West Nile virus, and malaria. The Lancet report issues a stark warning that with a 2 degrees Celsius rise in temperature, the risk of dengue transmission could skyrocket by an alarming 36%. Storms and floods create stagnant water that are breeding grounds for mosquitoes, and also increase the risk of waterborne diseases such as cholera, typhoid, and diarrhea. Scientists also fear that mammals straying into new areas could share diseases with each other, potentially creating new viruses that could then jump over to humans. New data from Google Trends, highlighted by the BBC this week, reveals a striking surge in public concern. Online searches for climate anxiety have skyrocketed, showing an astounding 27-fold increase in just the first 10 months of this year compared to the same period in 2017. People are becoming more anxious and depressed about our planet's warming. Let's hope world leaders work together to save our planet, because there is no Planet B.
Thanks for watching.